Yep, we're off. Oh.
Me. Mike.
You can actually hear me. Like you want to hear me. So, still Wednesday, 21st December. Still just getting ahead of myself. But this is the last one of the night. And we've done French. But let's just hop over the border and go to España. For this one, which is called Embrujo De Granada. And this was a very kind donation by Andrew A.P. Butler. That was not my bottom. That was the chair before you start. And it's from a distillery called Distilleria Libre. Now, I don't know well, I'm assuming Distilleria is distillery, but Libre, no idea what that means. Didn't actually look it up. This looks like it's going to be really bright. No, I think you'll be right. But Embrujo de Granada. Now, Granada is the region of Andalusia, and the distillery itself is in a place called Padul, which is here. And Embrujo, whatever. You know my pronunciation is rubbish. I don't even know why I bother. I can't even speak English, let alone Spanish. Means kind of enchantment or spell. So it's essentially the spell of Granada, or the enchantment of Granada. And it was a company that was founded in 2001 by a guy called Fran Peregrina, who is this guy here. And he was a chemical engineer to start with, who became very interested in whiskey and wanted to basically create a whiskey that was evocative of the region. So it's very localized. Everything is done on site. So it's malted barley from nearby, but it's Spanish barley. It's malted on site, it's distilled on site, it's even bottled and matured on site as well. They used local sherry casks, but apparently it's American oak sherry casks, which seems a bit weird, because I thought the majority of sherry casks in Spain were Spanish, but European oak, that sort of thing. But the places that I've read have said it's US oak, so not quite sure how that works. But anyway, yes, everything is done on site. I don't have an awful lot of information about this. I can't even give you a price. This is what the bottle looks like. I managed to get that off the internet, but in terms of a price, I've seen it anywhere from like 20 euros to about 40 euros, but it was on sale. So stick a pin in the middle, call it about 30 euros, but I've not found anywhere in the UK that sells this. And again, a lot of the information that I could find was sort of websites in Spanish and German, and I couldn't understand them because I'm English, and we don't do things like learning other people's languages. So yeah, not a great deal of information about it, unfortunately, or none that I could find. So if you do know anything about this, please do let me know in the comments, because that is about your lot on this one. So no age statement as well. I think one place I did read where it was somebody had actually gone to the distillery itself and had a bit of a tour and had pictures of the distillery. Certainly not an attractive distillery, not your traditional Scottish distillery with a pagoda in the hills with glens and locks and stuff all over the place and Highland coos and all this lot. This was pretty much on an industrial estate with a load of very boring looking buildings with all the stuff inside. But this was, and I think this was from a couple of years ago, basically saying that they had stocks of up to 8 years old. So it's going to be young, but exactly how young, I have absolutely no idea. And it sounds like they do it in batches, and the casks for maturation are almost in like a Solera system where they fill in at the top, but they then kind of run off, so they're adding into when they get to the bottom of the cask, they fill it up again, so there's like increasingly older stuff in there. So it's not necessarily a specific age, and it's done in batches. So very, very bloody dark though. Jesus, would you look at that? So dark it's turned me Irish. Jesus, would you look at that? That is dark. Now, I started off thinking Edu probably hasn't got colouring added in, but I think it maybe has, and it's entirely possible they've added colouring to this as well to kind of make it more whiskey-ish to appeal to the market. But that is freaking dark. That really is. Yowza. Well, it's safe to say that it's got some sherry influence on it. Talk about sherry bomb, that is like a sherry nuclear explosion. In fact, that's sherry. It is, I don't even know what the percentage is actually, because Andrew's not put it on there. I'm guessing it's 40%. And my iPod is charging up, and this phone is rubbish on the Tinternet. So let me just see if I can find it. Bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves, but don't talk too loudly because you'll put me off spelling. Because I've misspelt it already, because it's not Embrujo, it's Embrujo De Granada. This is probably painful for you watching, but just for... Apparently I'm looking for whisky rather than whiskey. Right. Come on, percentage, hurry up. La 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 la. I'm guessing it's 40 because it doesn't smell. It smells just like sherry. It doesn't smell like a whiskey at all. It really doesn't. My phone has decided that it doesn't want to. There we go. No, I don't want to put me age in. This was a mistake. This really was. There we go. Right. Come on, luxury spirits, hurry up. Load. It doesn't bloody say. It does, yes, 40. Alcohol degree, 40 degrees. Well, that's wrong for a start. Because if that's proof, that means it's 20. No, it's ridiculous. 40%. 40% ABV. It's a 40% ABV sherry. I mean, it does not smell like whiskey. It smells like a strong sherry, very, like a very sweet sherry as well. Very rich indeed. There's a fresh element to it, but it's kind of dangerously close to minty toilet bleach. It's not quite that bad, but it's a mintiness. But the freshness and the intensity of it is starting to go towards, like when you get like ice mint Domestos, ice mint toilet duck, that we're kind of edging towards that character, as well as just pure sherry fruit, you know, sultanas and fruit baskets and sweetness and richness. I do like it. That's the weird thing. I know I've just gone on about bloody minty toilet duck, but I like the nose. It just doesn't say whiskey to me at all. Andrew, are you sure this is whiskey, mate? It doesn't even taste like it's 40%. It tastes like it's 25, 30. And it's not quite as sweet as a liqueur. We're not talking Starward Bren, rich, unctuous, nearly a whiskey liqueur. This is less like whiskey. This isn't necessarily a whiskey liqueur. This is so close to just being a very strong Spanish sweet sherry. There's not a great deal on the palate. The mouthfeel is there. It's kind of a medium mouthfeel, but again, it's got no fire of any alcohol percentage because it's just sweetness. If you like sherry, and I'm talking not even sherried whiskies, just sherry. If you like sweet sherry, this is really good. You know, if you drink whiskey and you drink sherry, this is probably going to absolutely float your boat. There's nothing on the finish. There is no impression of any alcohol on the finish. There's not a great deal of mouthfeel. It's very sweet. It's not even like it's a thick, rich Oloroso Pedro Jimenez sherry, which is very silky and very smooth and has weight to it. This doesn't even have weight to it. This really feels like it's 30%. It's a 30% sherry. You swallow and there's no fire, there's no burn, there's no indication of any 40% or anything. I kind of like it because I like sweet sherry. But this doesn't feel like I'm drinking a whiskey. It really does not feel like I'm drinking whiskey at all. It feels like I'm drinking a powerful sherry, one where somehow they've made a sherry that's 30%. It's so weird. Now, I've read, not reviews, but I've read some comments in various places where it gets absolutely slated. And I could kind of see why, if you don't like sherry whiskies, or if you just can't believe that there's that little on it. It's not that there's nothing on it. It's just, if you're looking at it in terms of a whiskey, just whiskey in general, it's very, very hard to pick out anything whiskey-ish out of this, rather than a slightly higher alcohol content than you would from a standard sherry. And there's not a great deal on it. But if you look at this in terms of, if you were looking to persuade a sherry drinker to try whiskey, you could give them that as like a crossover. You know, you get your kind of things like black bottle and lightly peated whiskies to get people going from, you know, ordinary whiskey, lowland, highland, bourbon, whatever, into peaty whiskies, and you go, right, try one of them as kind of your stepping stone into that. And this is almost, for a sherry drinker, try this as a stepping stone into whiskey, because this is almost like you've combined the two together. You've watered down a whiskey with some sherry, or you've beefed up a sherry with some whiskey, and this kind of straddles both camps. Now, I like it, like I say, because I like sherry, but I can fully see how people are not going to like this. But if you like sherry, and if you like sherried whiskies, I don't think you're not going to like this. I just think you're going to think it's a bit weird, because it is. Do I like it? I think I like it. I think I like it because it's a bit different, and because it's a flavour profile that I like. But looking at it as a whiskey, it's not actually that good. It's very, very unusual. Weird. What a way to end the night. What an advert for Spanish whiskey. Now, this was apparently the second Spanish distillery, and I don't think there's that many more than two anyway. Now, France seems to be doing all right for itself, thank you very much. Spain possibly has a bit of work to do. But yeah, and if you found this at like 20 euros on your travels, 20-30 euros, which is about 20-30 quid, the way that our currency is going at the moment, if you found this for about 25 quid, you went on holiday to Spain and you found it, do you know what? It's actually worth picking up. I think it's worth picking up and then sharing with some of your friends and seeing what they think about it. Buy this for people that like sherried whiskies and just see what they think about it. Just see what their thoughts are, and people that drink sherry and maybe have a tot of whiskey every now and again, because I think there's a market out there for this. I'm just not sure how big a market that is and whether it would actually do quite well. But interesting, very interesting. Andrew, thank you very much for that. I'd love to know what you think about it, because you've had a lot of whiskies, and I'd love to know where this stands in your personal ranking. But it's unusual, which is always good. I like unusual whiskies. They don't even have to be very good. I just like unusual whiskies. Okay, right, that's me done for the night, and I shall see you at the next one. Cheers.